Okay, I'm making this video, okay, and not a lot of people are gonna like this video, I'm pretty sure, okay. I probably look like a fucking idiot, and I'm gonna be swearing and I'm gonna be speaking my mind. And to be honest, I don't give a damn toss. I don't give a fuck, okay, uh, even if this was my last message to you, to be honest with you. Alright, I want to say this, okay. First of all, I want to say a quick thank you for the support of friends, okay, on my channel and whoever watches. I will say that, okay. And please excuse me if you don't want to hear a load of swearing now, okay, because I'm not trying to be a pig. I'm just standing up to put a few things straight, because every now and then it seems I'm pulled when I don't want to do it, but I'm pulled into this where I have to speak my words on it. And I'm not being offensive or opinionated. I'm not trying to offend or be forcing my opinions on people, but heck, people are constantly, putting this nonsense out there, and I have to actually speak my side of that as well. Like this, okay? It's not about me. It's not about you, anyone. But what I'm going to say is, right, for the people out there right now who are watching this, for the people who have got any open-mindedness in you, okay, to believe that there's more out there, knowledge-wise, skill-wise, in any area, in any subject. If you believe that there's stuff out there that you just may not have seen and experienced before, then well done to you, okay? But if you're not going to believe that, and if you believe that you've seen everything or you've seen enough, by far you've seen enough, that's the fucking end of learning for you, mate. You know? And you ain't my mate, obviously. But what I'm trying to say is, right, this, okay? Traditional martial arts, kung fu, okay, traditional styles of kung fu. I'm not going to go into what styles of what, okay? All the traditional styles of kung fu, karate, all that, okay? Taekwondo, whatever it is, but let's say kung fu styles though of China, and then other styles like Aikido of Japan, and different arts, okay? Whatever it is, ninjutsu. I'm speaking a lot of arts here. I'm speaking of a lot of arts here. Wushu, kung fu, tai chi, whatever, Wing Chun, all the different styles, right? If you're going to believe that what you've seen on YouTube, video after video of people getting beaten in fights by MMA, real fighters and practical fighters with their muscle and their skill, regardless of what skill I've stood up for MMA in the past, explaining that they are, skilled fighters, they do have ability, and they are athletes. Regardless of all that, if you want to sit there constantly slandering and putting down traditional martial arts and kung fu, believing that you've seen enough to know that it doesn't work, and if you want to keep on talking about how back in the day when we were young, we used to watch so many kung fu movies and stuff like that, and we used to, believe in it, but nowadays we know it's bullshit and it doesn't work and it's bullshit, and you see fight after fight, and at the end of the day, practicality works. Practical fighting is better than theory, and you call traditional martial arts nothing but a theory and a dream. Just a bunch of guys in suits doing funky moves and getting their ass beat by MMA guys and can't really fight. They're living in a dream. If that's what you want to believe, these videos that people dig up and just put on YouTube, and you believe you're sitting there and you know it all about traditional martial arts. I mean, I saw some some comment written by someone as well, saying that, back in the day, we used to believe that, the reason kung fu don't work and stuff is because in the West it was just all fake, whereas in China, that's where the real deal comes. Kung Fu is. But, you know, even nowadays we can see on YouTube that it still doesn't work. Facts are facts, you know, traditional Kung Fu, traditional martial arts don't work. Fucking, you know, it's just a load of crap. Well, that's it. You're never going to know. The point is this: traditional martial arts, the knowledge is fading away. The true masters and experts of real deal martial arts, what it is, that's what it is, traditional martial arts, real martial arts. That is sadly fading and watering and whittling down. There are schools across the world, there are people who practice and some people who are better. But that's the sad fact of it in this day and age. That's why it's like absolute gold. It's like you wouldn't believe it if you saw it. You'd dig a stone up from the ground and you'd say that's not gold. It's just because it's so rare to come by. And you'd say that's another excuse from me, a Kung Fu fanboy, as apparently that's what they're fucking calling us, right? Fans and bullshitters. You got no fucking idea in your skull, okay? I have lived a life, enough of my life now, well over 20 years so far. I'm 36 years old in this video. Okay, well, hang on, let me work that out. I started my martial arts training, yeah. As I said, well, I started my martial arts training when I was 12. So I'll say that, okay, when I was 12, sorry. Around 20 years or so, right? Martial arts training. I know enough. I'm not a muscle league, I'm not a tough guy. I was bullied in school, can see why, right? Skinny cunt, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, I don't live in a dream world. I've had to put up with shit in my life, right? And I know what works hand to hand from what I've learned from the traditional. Let me reiterate, not shiterate, right? Because that's what people are doing, dancing around a few YouTube videos, getting another ego boost on their fucking muscles and their tough MMA attitude. Let me tell you what it is, all right? All skills and fighting methods or whatever it is not invincible. None of them are invincible, okay? All of them are, you've got openings, weak points where you could get hit. It depends on how you use it. Now you may fire back and turn that around and you know, shit in the air. You might turn your ass around and say, for a face, language, voice, and you might say, well, I'm just making more excuses up again, like I've said before, you know, it's not the technique, it's how you use it. And you might even turn that around and try to say, well, no, we've seen enough from traditional Kung Fu people. This bullshit, enough's enough, it don't work, because the arts have been proved many times that not to work against practical fighting like MMA. Let me tell you something now, right? I know fucking enough in me. I'm not saying I'll get into a fight or challenge anyone, even a non-MMA fighter, someone on the street, some thug. I'm quite a quiet person, a timid person. If someone was going to try and attack me, I'd be pretty nervous. But I'd have the skill there. I know from fucking training. I know what I know. And when someone's grabbing on me or whatever, I know how to deal with them with a skill. I know about blocking, I know about striking, I know about structure, I know about a bit of grappling techniques. I know how sticky hands, pushing hands work. I know how... I know various locks. I know enough within my fucking skinny frame, within the last 20 years or so of studying martial arts, proper, to fucking know what's bullshit and what's not. I've got a mind. I don't just be a robot. I'm speaking up for all the traditional martial artists who really know what I'm talking about here too, who've been through it. I know that, okay, I'm sorry to swear, but, you know, fuck ignorance, you know, at the end of the day, you know. Gotta be real. Fuck bullshit, yes, but fuck ignorance too. I know damn well, okay, that someone's not going to hold their hand out in the street waiting for you to do moves. I know all fancy movement that's no use, just moving around, doing all fancy. I know obviously that's not fucking useful. I know wearing a fancy outfit or whatever might be comfortable, but it's not useful to just be, you know, we're not talking bullshit. I'm not saying it's going to be flowery, pretty movements like in a movie, perfectly choreographed, which is good in a movie, epic to watch. But I'm not talking about that, okay? I'm talking about practical fucking practicality. Traditional martial arts. Let me remind you punk ass, anyone out there, let me remind you this, alright? Not you personally, but I'm just saying, let's remind a punk ass ignorant attitude. Remind ignorance. It's like I'm sitting here talking to ignorance while he stands looking down on me. You know, he ain't got a fucking clue, right? He has not got a fucking clue. It's like a maniac wielding a goddamn blade or a gun, some maniac. He's not with it. Or someone who's ready to kill someone, or someone who's ready to commit suicide. The person's not stable. They're distracted from the beauty of life. He's not in focus, in balance, and you can see clearly. But let's go back to what I'm saying. I'm sitting here and I'm telling ignorance now what I'm saying. All of these ways, like all movement, or however you're going to move, right? You know, it depends in a real fight. But traditional martial arts, let me reiterate, okay? Traditional martial arts has been around for thousands of years or whatever, right? Years. And they used to use it in warfare, right? In warfare. The samurai or whatever, samurai Japan, or whatever wars it was in China or whatever. Yeah, they were fighting with bladed weapons, okay, in Japan and China, let's say, in the history fighting, in the ancient history, I'm saying, it's been real fighting. When war times, it was like real savage, and they didn't have time to fuck about when they moved with those swords and weapons. It was brutal. It weren't always perfect, but there was an art there. And then the bare hand skills, when they had to fight, I'm tired fucking talking about this shit. Shut up, you know. But the bare hand techniques were trained. They weren't there bullshitting around, and they had to have skills to defend themselves. It wasn't just all a load of fighting with no skill. They developed these arts. Now, in today's modern day and age, it's watered down, but whittled down to a piss about it and such. But it's like that, yeah. When you got things like Krav Maga or like army training, like Systema and certain kind of training they do in the army training, SAS or whatever, Marines. There's techniques in there. What do you believe they're doing? It's MMA. Yeah, MMA's around. But it's like a lot of techniques, certain techniques that are in there, they've come and derived from things like Kung Fu and karate. You got the Korean army doing like Taekwondo and stuff, whatever. Okay, not just because it's traditional, because it fucking works, man. Yeah, you got jiu-jitsu and all that stuff. You got jiu-jitsu, aikido, judo, all these things, but they come out of that too. Tai Chi works. All the traditional fucking martial arts work the same as boxing works if you make it work. But we're not talking about you can make it work, make some move, fancy, and I can show you how I can make this work. You trying to get yourself killed doing that? We're not doing that. Traditional martial arts works, and it's not made to be practical. It is fucking practicality. It's the essence of practicality. What you're seeing, or what a lot of people are seeing, is people dancing around on a video who have not trained it that way, and they've not conditioned themselves. They might be whatever build they are, but they're not trained their martial arts that way. You're looking at watered down generations of piss people, not being funny, who are not in the right mindset, or they're not trained properly. But and you're taking them, and you're looking at MMA guys who are constantly training, fighting, and even they are allowed to beat them. The most low-level MMA guys are able to beat them because it's the mindset first of all, and also it's how they're fighting and how the moves are applied. You don't just get in a fancy stance position and someone does a kick or a punch and knocks you the fuck out. Of course it's not going to work. Whatever you call it, or whatever clothes you're wearing, or whatever fancy movement, practicality works over bullshit. It's like, in some strange way, when that MMA guy is throwing the punches or kicks and just knocking the other guy out, he's doing more kung fu than the other guy is. Because kung fu is all about practicality. It's not fucking bullshit. Let me go back to what I'm saying. But you got cutters and forms and all this stuff, patterns. That's for coordination and movement, right? And exercise. There's a lot of different aspects of traditional martial art. But I'm telling you now, you'd be fucking wrong, totally wrong, to believe. And I said fucking wrong. Sorry to swear, but I'll tell you now, right? To believe that traditional martial arts doesn't work, is not practicality. It is far superior. Now, please excuse me, okay, when I say this, remember, because I've always said it's not the art, but it's the person who uses it, that uses the tool and the skill, right? The person, how they apply the skills. I know that's true, but let's just talk about the whole package, the whole fucking thing, what it is that you're trying to do anyway. Traditional martial arts is 1 billion, 2 billion times fucking superior in terms of knowledge that you don't have a fucking clue if you're going to say you don't know to MMA. Now, what experience do I have in MMA? Much less than you, maybe. What experience may you have in traditional martial arts? Maybe more or less. But it's just this damn ignorance because you don't have a clue. You've still got far less than that. Now, I know just from my training, from what I've done in my life, what works. I've done a fair deal of teaching too. I don't try and teach bullshit. You know what I mean? If I found bullshit in my, you know what I mean? When we train, I encourage, when I'm like teaching people, I encourage students and people to try different things. You know, not knock me out on it, hopefully. And I remember, but it's like, if someone says, can I hit you? I can do this, I can do that. They're not dumb, you know what I mean? And I say, that's right. If I'm doing this position, of course you can hit me around this side and you can take me down. So what's the point in training? Not the fucking point, mate. A sword slash works, a sword strike works. But if I'm going for a sword strike straight and you go to the other side, it's not going to get you. You know what I'm saying? If I'm coming for a slash to get you and before I cut you, you come straight in and hit me, that's going to work. It's always contradictory. It's always like the other side. There's always a chance that nothing's invincible, you know what I mean? But everything works when you apply it in the right position, timing and everything. It's not about trying to be accurate and do a flowery kung fu dance. We're not fucking saying that. There's practicality in the moves. What people are doing is they don't have a fucking clue. They think films are fantasy. That's it. Watch the films and that, and then they try and make it out to be real life like that. They look at people who do traditional martial arts, and they see all these flowery, fancy moves which they don't understand. Is forms and training, okay? And then they don't understand that there's philosophy and skill in the techniques that are applied from that into real combat. And because they see people trying to do all that in fights and they're getting their ass beat by MMA guys, and they don't realise what it is. They don't realise that that is not the way traditional martial arts is done. So what you're seeing in the videos is not traditional martial arts. And you're believing, you probably think that I'm just making up some shit now to say, oh, you've never seen it, it does exist. It's like saying, well, there's a flying elephant in the sky, I believe it when I see it. We're not talking about bullshit, right? I'm talking about first-hand fucking experience. I'm talking about witnessing stuff. There's a lot of ignorance that's gone on, and there's a lot of people too, don't forget, in this new generations who have not actually trained any traditional martial arts or been in it or seen it, who are also following the ignorance of people that may have done a bit or not. But they're just following this ignorant path. They don't have a fucking clue what it's all about. I feel sorry to the people that have done a bit of traditional martial arts. But then again, it's your own fucking ignorance too. But I'm just saying, right, if we're not seeking more knowledge, right, always. Yeah, but I'm just saying, right, I feel sorry for the people that have done traditional martial arts to some extent. And then maybe they didn't have a good teacher enough, or they didn't look into it enough, or it wasn't able to get enough good practice. They might have just gone in. Because listen to me, man. If you fucking will, I've been into classes, right? I've witnessed seminars and stuff too, and I've been in classes. I know I'm no fucking idiot. If you want to call me a fucking idiot just because I'm not a big muscle man, I mean, look, it's not about that. That's skill, right? Philosophy and physical skill, and it's the same with anyone. Women can do martial arts too. So what I'm just trying to say is, right, it's not about that. I've myself personally witnessed seminars, I've been in classes, and I've been to schools as well, and I've learned and I've seen and I've watched people here in China and abroad. Okay, I've been living here for 13 years, and don't give me some fucking nonsense, right? And I've been in China for 13 years. I've been, as I say, in England. I was learning martial arts for many years. I went to different schools, and I've seen my fair share of bullshit too. I've seen my fair share of people just doing fancy moves and people training just robotically doing moves in a class and then slowly doing the applications in people. That's what happens. You get people that do that, fall into the trap, and they do that for a few years. Well, there's people that do a bit of that, and then they think, well, that didn't do me any good, and then they start something good up, like boxing, you know what it is, or Muay Thai or MMA, and they start feeling the practicality of fighting. Plus, they're tough anyway, and they want to just fight, and they just totally don't realise it. There's a lot of, you know, they don't realise that what they've experienced is not the real deal. They've not experienced the power of true kung fu and martial arts. I'm not saying I'm so great I can beat anyone, this or that. No, I'll probably get my ass beat by an MMA guy. But I'm just saying, I know what fucking works. I know my shortcomings, I know my weak points, I know their weak points too. That's the difference. True kung fu teaches you to see more of where strengths are and weaknesses are. Ultimately, that's practicality. And physically, how to fucking apply that in so many ways. In MMA, you're vastly limited, but the problem is they're not even as practical as they say, and they're not everyone, but a lot of people who are into MMA and they put down traditional martial arts. You could say, well, we haven't got so many moves to think about. We're just focused on those techniques and making them work. Yeah, sounds good, doesn't it? Right? Same fucking philosophies can apply to traditional martial arts, okay, kung fu and that. The same thing can apply to a lot of things. You may know a million languages, or you may know the language thoroughly, but you only need a few words or sentences to get through, a few tools to get by, a few survival tactics to get you by in the forest or the desert. You know what I mean? You don't need everything. But what I'm trying to say, yeah. But the imagination's got to be there. It's not the tools, it's the imagination. And the problem is they're lacking on the imagination. They're not only limited in the fucking skill, they're limited in the imagination. Their mind says they've got it all. And you might say, well, I agree to some extent that's kind of like a wrong attitude to have in life. But look, we've seen it time and time again, and you just go backtracking on yourself, saying the same old shit. We've seen it time and time again. Traditional martial arts fails when it faces against MMA. You're talking bullshit. You're talking fucking bullshit because you don't have a clue what you're talking about. You're absolutely talking like it's like not touching fire, and not understanding it burns your hand, and not understanding that. So, well, I've seen how a wind or water can put the fire out. I've seen how it's not burned my house down. You know what I mean? It's like it's just this ignorant attitude that people have. You know what I mean? Traditional martial arts, kung fu. I'm not staring into space, thinking like, what more can I say now to you to try and convince you? I ain't fucking saying that. I'm saying you've not experienced it. Keep bad mouthing traditional martial arts, putting it down all the fucking time. You got no fucking idea. You've got no fucking idea. The power and the amount of absolute ability that's there is pure ignorance. It's absolute fucking dumb ignorance to not understand it. Because what you're doing is you're seeing people do fancy moves and positions, and you're saying, "Oh, how's that going to work? I'll just go straight through that." You're saying that's how someone's going to do it. Well, you see someone on a video, like I'm not going to mention any names, but look, man, all I'm going to say is, right, there's different martial arts people out there. People might look at my videos and say they're crap. You might look at all kinds of videos, right? You've got people that I like Master Wong, for example. I think he's good. I like people like Larry Tatum, but there's people that will put these guys down. And then there's other people that will follow people like Jake Mace out there, or people that put him down. I'm not a big fan of Jake Mace personally. We're all doing our own thing. But I'm just saying, I'm not a fan of him personally. I just say that, right? It's not an attack or anything, but Jake Mace is doing his thing, and he's got a heart for traditional martial arts, but the martial arts academy. So, but I'm just saying, there's people out there that follow him, but I'm not trying to say I'm a jack of all trades and I know everything, but I'm just saying, right? You got real martial arts, and then you got these clubs and people putting out stuff out there and doing fancy stances and stuff. The funny thing is, right? Some people are like real good fighters, but they show a lot of fancy stuff. And you would look at that and say, well, he's no good. But then again, there's other people that will show fancy stuff and you'll say, oh, he must be good. And then you see the guy in a real fight and he gets his arse beat. We're not talking about every time, like I just said, anyone, an old lady or someone with no skill could still beat an expert martial artist in the right timing, the right angling and stuff, the technique in that moment. Yeah. But it's like there's always value. It's always better to learn more knowledge, get more knowledge and experience in something. And when you do, it's not just so that you know all that shit. Why have I got to know all that shit? Why have I got to jack my fucking head in like the Matrix? You might say. But that's the wrong fucking attitude. Because if you walk those paths and if you take knowledge and you train it, you will not fucking delusion. I'm not talking about delusion, man. You will learn what it's about. Real martial arts if you practice right and you train, not practice fancy movement. No, I'm saying if you train with someone, not trying to knock them out, but if you train good sparring and pressure and fucking working the stance work and working things, and you see where the openings are and you see what's bullshit for you. So if you're training and your teacher is a good teacher and he's showing you, he or her, he or she, and you're in the fucking place and you train well in the dojo or in the school like you're supposed to, like it's for real life, you know, if you're training with a real applicable way of training, not just doing fancy moves in a dream state and then going out, you know, by yourself thinking you can take people on. No, if you train proper, and that's what traditional martial arts is about. It's not about bullshit. And that's what you're not seeing in this modern day and age, especially nowadays where you've got all this political correctness and fucking crap and confusion, or people trying to con you out of money, con you out of your money, one side, and then they've got to be careful with the here and there, because otherwise people will say, oh, that teacher's, you know, whatever, you know, assaulted you or whatever, some stupid shit. So it's all watered down. You live in a pissed up fucking stupid society of bullshit, weakness anyway. Everybody's attacking each other, but everybody's a bunch of pussies, you know. And that's what you have. All you get is a few tough guys who do MMA. And yeah, fair enough, I agree. Because you've got a bunch of pussies on one side, you've got a bunch of soft people on one side, whether they do martial arts or not. And then you've got a bunch of fucking tough guys who are pussies also, because they're doing either MMA or not, or even they may be like a very low level of MMA and they can still knock everybody out. Because that's all there is. The true knowledge and the fucking wisdom of the traditional martial arts in terms of combat, you're not fucking seeing anymore. I mean, don't even need to say that. You don't even need to talk about that. Let's just talk about the fitness and health level of the traditional martial arts. They're not even training it on the level they used to train, even in the ancient days. How do I know? Am I Chinese? No. Was I here in China ancient years and years ago? No. But I know from what I've fucking seen, just that little bit what I've seen, and putting my life into training, I know what fucking works. And I've watched movies and stuff, and some of the moves in what they do in the movies are actual real movement, obviously. But obviously, I'm not living in a dream world. I know it's a movie and it's choreography. I'm not living in a dream world, seeing that, okay? But for someone to be that dumb and ignorant to just keep putting traditional martial arts, sitting there, drinking whatever you're fucking drinking. Oh, look at this guy. Oh, he doesn't know what he's doing. Oh, this and that. Blah, blah, blah. You know, talking all this fucking crap out your mouth. Typing all this shit and making these videos, criticizing, oh, you know, my reaction to this video. But look at this guy doing fancy moves, and look how the MMA guy picks him off. You know, oh yeah, you know, it just goes to show you, some people are living in a dream. You know, these people are like fucking, probably not even my age. I'm 36 in this video, but a lot of people are probably like 20 or 18, and they're like talking about it like they know. You know what I mean? I don't fucking know how real it was even myself compared to the ancient way. It was fucking real deal. We're living in pussy times right now. It's absolute fucking weakness. It's absolute ignorance. Not because I want to believe bullshit. I've seen it. I've seen the real fucking deal. I've seen the real deal. I've seen 3 people get locked up and fucking taken down to the ground. I've seen movement. I've seen skill, face to face to face. Not show. I'm saying like literal. I've seen martial art. I'm telling you now, right? I've seen things work. I know what it is. And with the not fucking seeing is believing, but feeling is the truth. Yeah, that's another thing one of my teachers used to say. But I'm just saying, bro, when I feel it, when I feel that fucking shit, okay? When I feel and I know what I can fucking do with a strike, I know what the fuck I can do. I know what I'm going to do. If someone grabs me on a certain back, I know if someone's going to strike me, I know enough technicality. Not to say that I can make it work in every situation, because I might be going for this move and he knocks me out that way. But I know damn well about traditional martial arts. I know a fair deal about how you're supposed to use certain things, especially what I've learned, you know, and how it works. All this fucking mouth, comment after comment. If I go on YouTube here now, I'm not even going to bother. You go on YouTube, video after video, whether it be martial art lesson videos, traditional stuff, or demos, or whether it be MMA guys beating up you know, a traditional, whatever it is, all you see constantly is comment underneath, comment after comment after comment of these beer drinking fat fucking cunts, excuse my language, who don't take care of their health. I'm not saying people who are naturally overweight. I'm just saying people who are overweight, like they're just drinking, smoking weed, chilling out on weed because they're so tough, but they can't take life. They're just chilling out on weed to escape, half fucking off their head on drugs. Stupid fucking pricks, right? Because sitting there mouthing off, oh, look at that crap, look at this crap, that's crap, that's crap. Is this a bad habit? It's a verbal habit. They don't even know what they're saying. Even in their daily life, they'll be working and they'll be talking to their fellow co-workers at work. Everything people say is wrong. Everything's bad. Everything they see is shit. All they know is how to look down upon people. They talk shit to each other. Men and women argue. They're arguing with their family, arguing with their loved ones, their partners. They've got no respect for their elders, no respect for their teachers, no respect for their country, no respect for fucking anything. Oh, equality. Everything's all equality and political correctness. And yet at the same time, whenever someone says something different to you, you're against them. It's constant shit here, shit there. Violence. Whether they're violent with fists or they're violent with their mind, they're just not stable. Greed, jealousy, they've got to be treated the same as others or better. They're kissing ass the whole time. They're walking around. It's a brain dead fucking society looking at mobile phones, jacked up on goddamn technological drugs that the society's putting onto you. And I will say fuck that, okay? Excuse me. So I don't give a damn. I'm not about forcing opinions on people. I'm saying open your mind, come back to the truth. Now, traditional martial arts, though, as far as that argument goes, you don't know fuck all when you're putting it down. End of. You don't know fuck all. That's what I'm trying to say to you. I know fucking enough about MMA when I see it to know that I get my ass beaten because a few things. My own physical fitness level now. I'm just doing what training I do nowadays. My confidence is a big thing, so I'll be nervous, and I'm not overly confident that my techniques are going to always work. You see, but then the argument would be from an MMA point of view would be like, well, that's the thing. See, you traditional kung fu guys, you're not even confident in your moves, but you seem to think that if you're confident enough, they're going to work. Well, guess what? They're not going to work. Blah blah blah. That's old bullshit. You've got no fucking idea. You continuously put down Aikido. It's a load of old bullshit. The throws and all that and the locks, and that's not going to work in real life. This is not going to work. That's not going to work. I ain't got a fucking clue at all. Sticky hands, what's that? Wing Chun sticky hands, Tai Chi pushing hands. You think that's bullshit because you think people are going to play like that in the street. We're not doing that. You fucking don't understand a clue, do you? It's when someone's, fucking trying to, it's as real as your goddamn Olympic fucking judo or your professional MMA jiu-jitsu. Is exactly that. You're lacking something fucking big. And I say open-mindedness, not open-minded, just believe blindly. I'm not saying that. You don't know and you ain't seen and you ain't... If you ever fucking do see it and you put yourself through traditional martial arts, it's the only way. So yeah, I don't have that physical training in MMA as such, right? But to know what I know, I'm just saying here, but we got to shut up and mind our own business, just do our own thing is what I'm saying. I don't have to do that, you don't have to do this. But I'm just saying, traditional martial arts is so much there that you do not have a fucking clue about what works. What fucking works? And you say there's only one way to know. Let's come together, hand to hand. No. Well, I'll say this, right? I'll pick my fucking nose too if I want to. My channel. It's my channel, Blair. Sorry, excuse me. But yeah, listen, I'm not an argumentative person. You can think what you want to bloody think. But you're wasting your time making videos criticising anyone on any level. You don't go and make videos criticising people all the time. It's their own fault if they get offended. That's what I say. I don't believe in things like offence, because nothing can offend me even. Offence is the feeling that you feel, and you can close your mind off to that. But what I'm trying to say on that is, still though, it doesn't. It's the attacking mind, the nastiness, the offensing, being criticising people. I'm just spitting the facts, man. I'm just spitting the truth, man. Spit all over the fucking place. Spit all over your fucking world and slip in it and smack your head off the concrete, damn it. Oh, fucking hell. As soon as you're criticising the road sweeper and you trip over his fucking rubbish bins, end up upside down in it with your phone between your legs. vibrating, motherfucker. Don't forget to charge it, bro. Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, I'm just trying to say, right? Yeah, get off the fucking drugs, man. You jacked up on that 5G before it even hits you. Get back to what I'm saying. So, I'm just saying, right? It is, right? I'm just saying, right? I've got a voice saying that, you know what I mean? You support equality, don't you know what I'm saying? That's it, right? Yeah, so I'm just fucking saying, right? Offence, you go around criticising people. You take everything as a criticism. You take everything as an attack. You go around putting people down, whether it's on martial arts or whatever, and you type comments all the damn time. Is that what you're going to spend your whole fucking day? What a waste of time, me having to make this damn fucking video right now. Right, people who are my friends and supporters on here, thanks for watching. Right, you know what I'm saying. Right, I don't even. What should I do? Should I just switch the comment section off because I don't want to get into a fucking argument on this video? This video is not about that. Right, so whether it's friends of mine who say, "I get you, Rich, but you don't need to be like that, but overly fucking swearing and that." I don't give a fuck. I will stand up to these punks because the way it is, right, is I've got to get the message. It's not standing up, it's like getting the message out there. You don't know enough about certain things and you put down people and take the piss out of people. And at the same time, you promote and support violence. Well, if you don't support that, Richard, then don't fight, don't talk about fighting into martial arts and that. I'm not like that, okay? I'm saying you're putting things down which you don't know anything about. What do you think I'm going to say? Do you think I'm going to deny what I've seen in videos? Yeah, there's reasons why some of those people lost in some of those fights, the traditionalists versus the MMA people. They might not have been good enough fighters, or they might have just not been the real deal, as I'm saying, whatever you want to call it, okay? But I'm telling you right now, straight up, right, real deal. They didn't do well, right? Lucky or not, whatever you want to call it, but skill versus skill, they didn't do well. But they ain't traditional fucking real deal kung fu and martial arts, is what I'm trying to say to you. It's like 99.999.9, whatever. It was a small 0.9%, 9% that they would lose to something like MMA. Are you fucking kidding me, right? That's the only little bit of a chance there is because nobody's invincible. But a true martial artist who trains something it's not just like another skill, something so fucking superior as kung fu and traditional martial arts. No ego here. It's real deal. Whole body structure, the whole fucking way you fight, practical fucking way. There's much more, they'd stand much more of a chance of winning the fight. But here's the thing, right? Whether it's a martial arts fight or trained fighters, or whether it's just two thugs, two idiots on the subway train or station, right? You got people standing there, let's fight, and they get ready in a fighting stance or whatever it is, or like that. However they stand. When you're facing off already, immediately, it's hard. Because like, if someone could catch you off guard, who's going to get hit? You just don't know what I mean. But it's like, it's how you react in that moment and how you cover up and block and, but it's like, it's not like a back and forth and patty cake. It's literally when you're in the attack, the strike, the control. Those are the things that's going to, there's only 3 things that's going to fucking, or 4 if you take away that, yeah, fair enough. 4 if you include the health factor, like if the person's got bad breathing or health, yeah, fair enough, then the person might just get out of breath or tired or whatever. Yeah, but there's like 3 other factors though in the fighting, right? 2 on your side, 1 on their side. If you're fighting someone, okay, yeah, the ways you beat the opponent. 1 is your strikes. You cover and you strike, where you go straight in. Your strike is gonna fucking do them in, however you do it, right? That's 1. The other one is the control. So whether it's a lock or a throw down or whatever, that's going to fucking really take him out, right? Yeah, that's it. The other factor is the opponent. Okay, so he puts himself out. He goes to swing. He's some drunk guy, or whatever he is, or tough guy on the platform at the subway station, and he falls onto the fucking electric rails and cooks his fucking groin crack, right? You know what I'm saying? That's what happens to him. He's smacking it off the bar, and the train just comes shooting through choppies and blood right off. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? Skull. But I'm just joking around. But I'm just saying hypothetical stories here. But you know what I'm saying? The guy, right? the guy comes to attack you, or he's choking you, he's trying to swing, and he misses. The same as like in traditional martial arts when someone's pushing you, pulling, wrestling, grappling with you, or punching or whatever, and you're deflecting and absorbing energy, and you're going with the flow, and you're chucking him in the direction where he's falling. It's practical shit. We're not fucking around, standing based. So they're the only ways you're going to win a fight in traditional martial arts or real, or traditional versus real, versus nothing, just Street Fighter, you know, or MMA, or just people, or just two thugs with no fighting ability. But they're the only ways you win a fight. When your hits land, or when you throw someone down in some way, control them in some way, you know, and or the guy himself just gets exhausted, falls over, throws himself off balance or something. If you're not doing it to him, you know, that's the only way you're going to beat your opponent. But the other one thing is getting away, just running away if you can get away. Right? But so we don't bullshit around. It's not about if you stand in a boxing stance and skip around for a while, throw a few jabs, go back. Yeah, it's technique in that. Fair enough. It's the same with traditional martial arts. You're in a fancy stance, you've got your hands there, or whatever, and you're walking around, focusing. All that might be good training, but it's like not saying necessarily, you know, that you know, that's it. That's not doing anything. It's only when you engage. So if you're exchanging punches and going back and forth kicks, and anyone could get hit, it's quite a dangerous thing. So you have to, when you're going with that hit, your first hit's supposed to be your last. You got to fucking take them out before they fucking kill you or hurt you. When they're grabbing onto you, wrestling or whatever, if you're able to chuck him down, get control of the situation, you have to do it. You're going to win straight away, because you can't give him another chance, because the hit could hit you or he could kick you. You can disregard everything I'm saying here. How the fuck is that not practical? That's the kind of practicality you're talking about in MMA still. But there's loads of techniques. So I'm not saying you need so many techniques, but I'm saying there's so much in traditional martial arts, and it's very interesting. But not just bullshit, but traditional martial arts, right? To who? Fair enough, yeah, but there's so much in it, yeah, there's so much in traditional martial arts you can learn from, about structure. Not only about working out, but so much, and it's not bullshit. You don't have to do it. You don't need to know all those fighting moves. You don't need to know all those working out methods and that of the traditional martial arts. But there's a lot of real skills in there you could learn, and so much you'd learn that you don't know how to fucking apply them, or there's so much you don't even know what's there. You don't even know. You don't have a fucking clue. Not got a fucking clue. I'm telling you now. It's like you've been in some part of the world or something where, you know, you've had various sweets and candies before, and sweets, let's say, yeah, or chocolates, and you're only used to having this one kind, or it's like some part of the world where maybe they don't have such. If you hold on 1 second. Yeah, sorry, someone just called me. Okay, someone just called me in the other room. But I'm just saying, okay, you know. Traditional martial arts, so we don't fuck around. It's like you're going into another. It's like you're, you know. Please excuse me, got to fucking plug this wire in. It's like you're looking for like. And I ain't trying to show you my crutch. Sorry, I'm just trying to fucking get in position. But like, you know, what I'm saying, it was fucking staring and calling people, this and that. But go, I'm saying, yeah, but you know, it's literally like it's like you're in another part of the world, and you're like, you don't have access to like some kind of sweets or chocolate or whatever, and you just got like various ones, right? And then suddenly you go to another part of the world, like the UK or wherever, and someone buys you a big tin of Roses, Quality Street or whatever, some mixed chocolates. We got these tins of like different, you know, chocolates and sweets, right? And you put your hand in, you say, I don't really like sweets and stuff, I don't like, but then you start trying all the different ones, and you're like, wow, that's so good, you know, yeah, so nice, you know. There's so much you're missing, you just don't know. You got no fucking idea. No fucking idea what you're missing. You don't have a damn fucking clue how real the traditional martial arts are, how they work. Not everything. There's a lot of bullshit as well. Or, you know, when you start to make things work, they work, right? That's what I'll say. But with traditional martial arts and Kung Fu, my God, if anyone says Wing Chun's bad, you must have had bad teachers. If anyone says you can't fight with Tai Chi, Taiji, you know, you must have had bad teachers. It's the same fucking thing I'm telling you now. Damn, if you know what I'm saying, if you can't make your Hongda or your Tiger Kung Fu work, you must have had bad teachers. I'm not saying like if you lose to an MMA guy immediately you're crap. I'm just saying you must, if you can't actually make that work, in a lot of situations, and block and control and lock them up and control, and you're not a real deal person, and that's why the MMA guys will call you fucking shit and film that shit up and tell you you're shit. You train martial arts, you got to train real. End of, right? I'm not the toughest person to put myself in harm's way or go into the ring. I nearly did one time. I'm not the kind of person who would get into a fight like that or risk that or think that, because it's not about confidence. You can be confident as well. You can be big, built, tough, physically, and or you could be, and you could also, as I say, be really confident, really cocky in yourself. But at the end of the day, you could still get knocked the fuck out. That might be another reason, But it's about training. It's just about training. Right? It's about training the skill, not bullshitting as well. Oh, hold your arm. Let me grab it now. Oh, good. And how'd you do the mantis? Oh, how'd you do the crane? We're not fucking around like that. You don't fuck around like that. If I'm training with my students and we do that, I'll fucking show them. I'm not going to punch them. I'll say that. Could my fist knock your fucking skull in from here while you're doing that? Do that again. If I can just walk up to them and knock their arms down and just push them over, what's the fucking point in learning traditional martial arts if a skinny bastard like me can still hit them? And you're like just telling them they've got to learn how to work that, how to make the techniques fucking work, what they're supposed to be for. And a lot of techniques have got multiple uses, and what those multiple uses for? Each one of those uses has got to be trained real fucking deal. Like the SAS fucking Marines or whatever army, they're not training all these different maneuvers just for nothing. Each maneuver is a proper tactic that can save your fucking life on the battlefield. These people outside talking about, these people on YouTube talking about MMA is superior now, or how inferior traditional martial arts is, they ain't got a damn clue. You don't have a fucking clue. You just do not know. End of. I don't give a shit, right? You got no idea at all what you're talking about, because you've never seen it. Do you ever see real martial arts on videos here and there? And do you ever see real martial arts anywhere in the world losing or getting hurt by someone who's got less skill? Let's say someone like an MMA person or some thug off the street, which are different, but still, yeah, sometimes it happens. They can get hit by an old lady. They can get, an apple could fall from the tree and hit him in the fucking head. Einstein fucking Thomas Edison, you know what I'm trying to say, whoever the fuck, you know what I'm trying to say, right? There's all ideas coming in the left and right, you know what I mean? Don't get your science twisted, Richard. I know, me. I'm not trying to get my science twisted, you know what I mean? It's like, the only way you're going to know the other side, the only way you're going to know is by walking it, like, traditional martial arts, I'm saying. I'm speaking about something I know. As a human being, no different to you as such. We just, I know that I could learn so much about MMA. Let me give you this. I know if I jack myself up, not wanker, I'm not a pervert, but if I was going to jack myself, I was going to go up to the gym and work out and all this muscle, man. Or if I was going to go and put myself through MMA training, would I learn a lot? Yeah. But even if I become so good and I started walking through the parks and stuff, look at this, man, and I started challenging all the traditional martial artists, and I was on your side, and I started kicking people down and wrestling traditionalists and saying, yeah, see, man, you see, I still would know something that I would not have beaten the best. Because what I've learned in the traditional martial arts already, that knowledge is so real. It's so fucking real. I know that different techniques can beat different techniques of either side, but there's just so much stuff there. Two sword fighters are going to fight each other, two different blades. An ignorant dumbass would argue which sword is better, but someone who doesn't, they'd be just normal and they'd say, okay, there are two sharp blades there, two kitchen knives, the two people going to attack. Either one could fucking do the other guy in at the end of the day. But the thing is, they can looking at that and they're saying, well, that's a little knife or a big knife, or that's a different shape, it's not going to work. Or they're looking at things like saying, like, You know what I mean? It's like a man with a knife or something walking into someone's house and going to break in. He doesn't think that the guy's house is booby trapped, maybe Home Alone, you know. He doesn't think that there's like so much fucking stuff in here that could fuck him up. A hole in the floorboards underneath the staircase or something. He just doesn't see it, and that is exactly the philosophy that you're missing in the traditional martial arts. You just don't know what you're seeing. It's like you're walking shopping, you know what I mean? It's like these people have got so much money in their hand, but they're walking around, what can I buy, what can I buy? And everything they see, actually, it's a load of shit. But it's the opposite way. What they're seeing is they're walking around, they've got only a little bit of money in their hand, you know, and they're thinking everything's shit, so they don't buy it. Even with that little bit of money they got. But they don't realise that actually there's so much stuff that was really good and you can afford it. You can afford to invest your fucking time and energy studying some traditional martial arts, believe me. I can tell you now. What we need to do is stop criticising each other, anyone, and just avoid all fights in general anyway if you can. But, you know, avoid ignorance. These damn punks. I was forced to leave like 2 comments on someone's videos earlier on, like, because it was just got to me. It was like, fucking hell, the amount of ignorance. And below that I saw ignorant comment after comment of all these people. If you is someone who's seen comments of mine like that, think what you want to think. Traditional martial arts is real. That's it. MMA is real, yeah. But I'm telling you now, ignorance is not the way. Peace as well. Start getting yourself savvy as well. Get off the fucking weed and drugs. You don't need to do that. Get off that fake fucking attitude and ego, whatever you live like. You know, trying to prove you're something, you know, in life. You know what I mean? You're already good enough. Just be open-minded. Like, just look more. Seek and you shall find, man. You don't got a fucking clue, man. Lived all these years. I know exactly what I know in my training. There's people out there that are the real deal. It's because you don't see them. God, living in a box, for real. Living in a fucking box, man. What, the kind of people, right, they'll still be like, if they could think, these zombies will be like laying in a coffin, still thinking about like, oh, I want another life. I've not been fighting enough, you know. Life's not about all that fighting either constantly, you know what I mean? A traditional martial arts, real deal, ancient time. Bet my money, mate, they whoop the fucking arse of MMA and clean the floor with it. Because it's just so limited. It's just so... But it's not only that that's limited. It's the most important thing is the mind and the attitude. You've got to have the mind, open mind, imagination and knowledge. And then into the skill. Because that's what drives the vehicle, the mind. So you don't need to have... You can't like... fire every gun at the same time. No, you've only got certain things you can use, certain weapons or swords or whatever. Same with the bare hand skills. But it's like they don't know these skills. They don't know how to use them. They don't know this about first aid. They don't know that about medicine. You're trying to say you know everything about everything. You say, no, I'm not. That's you. You're trying to put words in my mouth. Blah, 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 blah. Look at your own comments and you put them down. Delete those fucking nasty comments that you left on people's videos. Give an apology when you can. Well, I apologise right now if I've offended anyone. It wasn't, and I'll tell you now, but the thing is, it was never meant to offend anyone in the first place. And in life, we always, most person we need to forgive is ourselves. Or apologise to is ourselves for fucking being so damn ignorant and putting others down all the time and taking bullshit from others and feeling offended by others and all that shit and wanting to prove a point. I've got everything right here. There's nothing more than that. Blah, 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 blah. You know, living in this fucking computer world on a mobile phone every day. There's a real world out there. Love and compassion, man. Love life, you know. That's traditional martial arts teaches. What does MMA teach you? Most of what's out there, it's like UFC. What does it teach you? It's okay to beat blood out of each other's faces. It doesn't matter if you're a man or woman, fucking man, woman, or fucking transgender, whatever they want to call themselves. It doesn't matter. That's the message you put into kids. It doesn't matter. We've got certain drugs that are legal. Certain drugs, sex change, plastic surgery, fucking jack you up on fucking 5G, 6G. Put your head into a fucking computer. You don't need to value a human being. You need to be improved, cybered up. You know, everything's okay. Political correctness, everything's okay. Nothing's okay. You can say this, but you can't say that. You're not able to be your own thing, but you still are. It's like it's confusing. You're confused, completely confused and blinded by it all. You know. Then there's some people that are religious, some are not. It's just constant fighting, constant war, constant greed. Not enough. And you're sitting in your goddamn Starbucks drinking a fucking coffee like, what the hell is life just passing you by? What are you tripping on these drugs? You know what I mean? Watching people beating the blood out of each other. Dirty, crude, goddamn vulgar fucking entertainment, they call it on the TV nowadays, or whatever, on the computer. The world's fucking sick. You need medicine, you need healing, you need sense, you need to train. That's what traditional martial arts teaches us, logic and knowledge. But the actual fighting skills, you can't touch this, the MC Hammer, right? They're not fucking around. Traditional martial arts, though, real deal. Kung Fu, ninjutsu, they all fucking clean the fucking floor with that shit, I'm telling you now. Just the attitude alone. It's like, you say like, oh, people say like, the lowest level MMA fighter can still beat Kung Fu people because it's a lot of bullshit. Well, I'll tell you now, true Kung Fu, real deal Kung Fu, right? Yeah, which you've not fucking seen. That's real deal as well, right? You think you have. But I'm saying, right, traditional martial arts, right, traditional Kung Fu, that, right, will wipe the floor with someone who hasn't even got the fucking know-how or the open mind or anything. They'll whoop your fucking ass because they've got the skill. Not me per se, alright? It depends though. Anyone can beat anyone in a certain situation. You got your hands working a certain way and your body. But you haven't got a fucking clue, mate. You've taken the red pill, blue pill, whatever the fuck it is. Enough pills, mate. You've been given the choice. This, that. You follow what everybody else is following. You totally look. You want to be free in life. That's another point. Philosophy, martial arts to the side a moment, if we may. Life in general, right? You want to be free in life. And yet you follow everybody fucking else, looking in that mirror at your gelled up hairstyle, studs in your ear, whatever. I'm not being offensive, whatever it is, makeup, fucking, whatever it is. You're cutting your goatee beard, trying to look flash, a nice fancy shirt, dressed up a certain way. You spent a few million on something expensive recently, whatever the fuck it was. You doll yourself up as a man or a woman, you're a Barbie or Ken or something in between, reptilian or whatever. And you're fucking making yourself on show every day, looking in the mirror, spray yourself with this, spray yourself with that. You've got it all the mouth, all the walks, the way you talk, you know what I mean, money, this and that. Yeah, telling people that their ideas are okay, but they should listen to you more, or they're no good, or they don't know anything, or then you're losing your temper with people. What the fuck are you looking at, trying to get into fights? Then you've got these sarcastic, dirty jokes and that coming out your mouth all the time about people's private parts and stuff. I'm bringing it all in because it's all fucking interrelated. You're a disgusting, vulgar, fucking violent piece of shite. In the fucking day, I've got no time. I don't live on a fucking YouTube or Facebook either. I wouldn't give a damn if my fucking channel was shut down. I ain't getting fucking time because I live in the real world. I'm not distracted and slave. I'm not a slave of it all. I don't live in the ghettos in the hoods saying, what's up, I'll stab your ass, shoot your punk ass dead, and take some drugs and fuck everybody. Fuck the Pope. No. Fuck anything that's injustice. I do not be a slave to any part of society, to anyone. I don't fall into any group because I've got to become you. I don't take the green pill, red pill, whatever the fuck your orange pill you give me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. It's like I'm free in my own mind. You know what I'm saying? It's like even if there's a God, I've still got my own mind. It's like I've been given a mind to think, but I choose to do the right thing. What's right for me? Making mistakes, learning by it, whatever. Yeah, but it's like I don't live to be dragging and pushing people around, and yet can't even stand up on my own 2 feet. I'm just dressed up, flashy, fancy clothes, so I want to look like. Yeah, man, I'm looking. What's the word? Whatever the slang they're using nowadays, looking like hip or whatever, and then trying to be the man, pair of shades on, whatever his chains around your neck, I don't know, some guy walking down the street with tight fucking pants, he can't even fucking walk properly, gets banged in his ass. You know what I'm trying to say? Because he enjoys it's his lifestyle, fair enough. He trips over or trying to cross the street by some automatic fucking self-driven car just runs him the fuck down. It's just total confusion. You can't say this, you can't say that. I'm not trying to. You know what I mean? I'm not. It's just. There's no sense in it. You know what I mean? And someone's trying to look They're more bothered about their image and their fashion, their fucking expression, the image and how people look at them and what they think of them and what they say to them. It hurts their feelings and all this. So weak. And they start chilling out, smoking weed and taking some drugs or that. What message are you giving to kids as well? You know what I mean? And life's hard, man. Life's hard. Fuck. I've never had a good life. Fuck. That's why I don't give a fuck. So what do you mean? Life's alright. I mean, anyone who's nasty and ignorant, fuck him. Don't worry about it. But you don't need to be attacking outwardly or towards yourself. It's that attitude of weakness and like being so tough, thinking you're tough, but still having to like trip on drugs or whatever the fuck, or look in the mirror and dress a certain way to make people know that you're the deal, you're the real deal. Because if you're not accepted by others, you're worth a piece, you're nothing. You're constantly on this warfare. The weakest people on the earth are like bullies, unhappy people. That's the weakest people, unhappy people who feel happy when they shit on people or when they put people down because they've got a hate in them that they feel that they're a victim constantly. You feel you're the victim, you're the victim. That's what these supposed tough bastards would tell someone like me who was bullied when I was young. But I never was driven to self-harm. I was never driven to self-pity or drugs or crime or suicide. That's fucking weakness. That's giving up. You don't need to live like that way. You don't need to follow whatever's advertised. Are you a slave to all those advertisements popping up on the computer screen all the time that keep coming up strangely, seeming to know your life and your habits, aren't they, seemingly, before you even get fucking your brain plugged into the cloud or the phone? Can't you just wake up to reality? Living in these political correctness and games and stuff is all, as long as you get your mind disconnected from that, you should be freer if you stick to nature. The more of your mind you've got, the more chance you're going to be free. If you want to be free and strong, you won't need to be in that. You won't need to compete with any of that. You won't need to work for them. Constantly working for people, working for the society. Speaking the way they do, acting a certain way, otherwise you won't fit in or get accepted. Well, that's fucking ignorance on their side. It's not your problem. You feel the victim and you tell me that I'm a fucking victim in life. I'm totally free. I'm very happy. I've got my own hobbies. I'm not the best artist, but I love drawing. I'm not the best fighter, but I like martial arts. I'm not the best musician, but I like making music. I'm not the best writer, but I like writing stories. I enjoy what I'm doing. If I enjoy the food I make, even if I'm not a top world-renowned chef like Gordon Ramsay, fair enough, but I like doing what I'm doing. You know what I mean? And when I want to relax, I'll fucking relax. I'm not going to jump off my fucking ass when I have to. If I don't have to, don't do things that are not beneficial to you. Things that are harming you or harming the world, they're not important. If you've sat through this video, you'll have looked through everything I'm saying, apart from me getting erratic and fuck and keep swearing all the time. You'll see that there's got to be some truth, and there's got to be some truth to you in your life. These things are more important than the argument between traditional martial arts and MMA or whatever the fuck, or this versus that. Anyway, but we got onto that subject then, and the first thing is, right, traditional martial arts is an area of knowledge. There's things you don't know. So I was triggered to make the video to talk first of all about that, because people don't have a clue what they're talking about, especially in the new generations. But the older people that have also done it in the past, they've not obviously had any good enough experiences. What you need to do is do some good training in traditional martial arts to know about it, to say if it's no good, and MMA can always beat it, Because I can say that I know MMA would beat traditional martial arts where its weaknesses are. But what they're saying is MMA doesn't have any weaknesses. It's just pure practical. It's simple, yeah, but it's practical. And pure MMA is not as simple as all that, but they were going to say that it's practical enough and it doesn't have weaknesses as such that, as much as traditional martial arts does, like it would never be hit by that. Because even the lowest level MMA people can beat traditional. They don't have a fucking clue what they're saying when they say that, because traditional martial arts has so much in it. Not because it's my football team over your football team, my basketball team over your basketball team. It's not the point, right? Or who scored enough goals. That's another delusion. Shots on that. But I'm not into sports anyway. I'm just saying. I'm not into competition anyway. I'm just saying no. But traditional martial arts, the ancient ways, and there's so much knowledge there. There's a lot of stuff that is questionable, but there's a lot of fair amount of stuff that is real. And I know just from my experience and what I've done in my training, and I know what works. And I'm talking about what's in terms of the mechanics of a human body, how you're moving, and what I've actually used. I know what the fuck works. So we're not MMA doesn't even come into the question when I'm talking about what I know, what works in that. But with you, traditional martial arts don't come into the question at all, because it's like it doesn't fucking work, which is totally wrong. I know MMA is good for fighting, and I know people that are tough can use it and that. You know what I mean? I'm not dumb. I'm gonna stop this video now. Thanks for watching. Live your life. Love life.